Welcome to channel IA.PelículasNbC. In this video, we are going to explore one of the most emotional adaptations of the time, the Titanic. This film has captivated audiences around the world. Let's immerse ourselves in its charm and beauty. We hope you like it. The plot of the film, Titanic, 1997, directed by James Cameron, is a mix of romance, drama, and tragedy that unfolds aboard the famous ocean liner RMS Titanic during its tragic maiden voyage in 1912. The film begins with a search team in the present day exploring the Titanic wreck site at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. During the search, they discover a drawing of the main character, Rose Dawson Calvert, which reveals that she was one of the survivors of the shipwreck. The story jumps back in time to 1912. Rose DeWitt Bukater is traveling on the Titanic with her mother, Ruth DeWitt Bukater, and her wealthy and controlling fiancé, Cal Hockley. Despite her wealth, Rose feels trapped in a life she doesn't want. Rose meets Jack Dawson, a penniless young artist who won a ticket to the Titanic in a card game. As she spends time with Jack, Rose rebels against the expectations of her mother and her fiancé and falls in love with him. The relationship between Jack and Rose intensifies as they explore the ship, enjoy each other's company, and participate in activities together. However, their love is threatened by Cal's disapproval and the social norms of the time. On the night of April 14, 1912, the Titanic collides with an iceberg in the North Atlantic, causing severe damage to the ship's hull and endangering everyone on board. The ship begins to sink, and panic sets in among the passengers and crew. As the Titanic sinks, Jack and Rose fight to survive and help other passengers. As the Titanic sinks, the nearby ship RMS Carpathia responds to distress signals and rescues survivors. The film returns to the narrative in the present day, where Rose tells the story of her experience on the Titanic to the searchers and reveals the fate of her romance with Jack. The film, Titanic, is known for its depiction of the Titanic disaster and the intense love story between Jack and Rose. It combines historical elements with a fictional plot and has become one of the most iconic and successful films of all time. Titanic is known for several emotional scenes that have left a lasting impression on viewers. Here are some of the most emotional scenes from the film. Rose's painting. In one of the first scenes, Jack draws a portrait of a naked Rose. The sensuality and intimacy of this scene help establish the connection between the characters. The promise on the bow. Jack takes Rose to the bow of the ship and encourages her to spread her arms as they sail across the ocean. This scene is a symbol of freedom and emotion. The first-class dinner. The tension between Rose and Cal during a first-class gala dinner is palpable. Rose feels trapped in her high society life, and this scene shows her internal struggle. The declaration of love on the spiral staircase. Jack declares his love to Rose on the majestic spiral staircase of the Titanic. The passion and commitment in this scene is moving. The kiss on the bow. The iconic scene on the bow of the ship, where Jack holds Rose as she spreads her arms, culminates in a passionate kiss. This image has become a symbol of the film. The sinking of the Titanic. As the Titanic sinks, the film presents heartbreaking moments, such as the separation of Jack and Rose in the cold water, the desperation of the passengers, and the heroic performance of some of them. The farewell at the floating door. Jack and Rose meet at a floating door in the freezing water. Jack sacrifices his life to keep Rose safe and asks her to never stop living. It is a moving and tragic scene. In the movie Titanic, the most important characters are the following. Jack Dawson, played by Leonardo DiCaprio. Jack is a young, impecunious artist who wins a ticket to the Titanic in a card game. He is a charismatic and passionate character who falls in love with Rose during the trip on the Titanic. His relationship with Rose is the heart of the film. Rose DeWitt Bukater, played by Kate Winslet. Rose is a young socialite traveling on the Titanic with her fiancé, Cal Hockley. Despite her privileged position, she feels trapped in a life she does not want. Rose becomes the female lead and falls in love with Jack, which sets off much of the plot. Cal Hockley, played by Billy Zane. Cal is Rose's fiancé and a wealthy man. He is arrogant, possessive, and controlling. His character is an antagonist in the film and represents the social conventions of the time. Ruth DeWitt Bukater, played by Frances Fisher. Ruth is Rose's mother and shares the same socialite attitudes as Cal. She pressures Rose to marry Cal, despite her daughter's wishes. Molly Brown, played by Kathy Bates. Molly Brown, also known as the unsinkable Molly Brown, is an upper-class passenger who befriends Jack and Rose. He is a friendly and free-spirited character who becomes an important support for the protagonists. Thomas Andrews, played by Victor Garber. Thomas Andrews is the designer of the Titanic and a member of the crew. He realizes the seriousness of the situation when the ship hits an iceberg and works to try to save as many passengers as possible. Let us also tell you that Titanic had a significant impact on society at the time of its release in 1997 and remains an iconic film that has left a lasting impression. Here are some aspects of the impact the film had on society. It was a box office success. The film generated a great deal of discussion and attention in the media. Rekindled interest in the Titanic. It had an impact on fashion and music. It boosted the careers of actors. He also received Academy Awards. In short, Titanic had a significant cultural impact on society, becoming a phenomenon in its time and leaving a lasting impression on popular culture. The film continues to be appreciated and remembered by many people around the world. Thanks for joining IA.PelículasNbC for this Titanic review. If you liked this video, don't forget to like, subscribe and activate the notification bell for more content about movies and series. See you in the next video.